Pilates workout for dressage riders. Okay, we're starting on the wall. So if you come to a nice clean patch of wall, keep your foot distance from the wall. You may have to adjust as you go down, and take a moment to feel your spine against the wall. So you're leaning into the wall, feel your sacrum, your ribs, and the back of your head. So we're feeling the natural arches of our spine. So there's a gap behind our neck, gap behind our back. Okay, we're going to proceed into the roll down. So we're going to bring our chin to our chest. And you're going to peel your spine off the wall, noticing whether it comes bone by bone or does it come off in big chunks. Rolling all the way down, back of the legs straight, drawing the abdominals up, belly button lifted, supporting your back, draping the upper body, heavy in the neck, heavy in the arms, trying to breathe into the sides and the back of your ribs. So expanding the ribs. Check in how straight the back of your legs are, press into your feet, straighten them a little more, and slide your seat bones up the wall. Make sure they keep in contact with the wall. So we're creating length in the whole back of the body, the posterior length. Okay, on the next breath out, we're going to roll back up, drawing the abdominals, heavy in the head and the shoulders. So lower back comes onto the wall first, articulating the spine, trying to press each vertebra into the wall one by one until you get to your head. Take a moment there, and now again take a breath into the ribs, but trying to press the ribs into the wall as you breathe in. So expand the back of the ribs. On the breath out, we're going back down again, chin to chest, heavy shoulders, peeling the spine off. Abdominals drawing up, tailbone sliding up the wall, spreading your feet on the ground. Deep breaths. Relax your head. You can move it around a little if you want to. Ragdoll arms. Feeling the stretch up the back of the legs. See if you can slide your tailbone further up the wall. That should increase the stretch. On the next breath out, belly button drawing up, and let your abdominals draw you back up. Tailbone now slides down, lower back and sacrum on the wall, middle back, shoulder blades, head and neck. Okay, nice stretch to start. Okay, what we're going to do before we get down on the mat and get into our mat Pilates is we're going to do a little bit of balance work on a block. If you haven't got a yoga block, simply stand next to it. It'll still be a challenge. Okay, so I want you to stand on the block, and you're going to have your heels off the back of the block. So just turn a little sideways so you can see. So I don't want you forward here. Make sure the ball of your feet's on the block, and then we'll be finding our balance there. You want your heels to be level, not down or not up. And think about your posture before we begin. Think about drawing up pelvic floor, stretching tall, finding your balance, zipping your legs together, long through the back of the neck. Okay, and then we're going to start doing some calf raises with nice control, going up as high as you can, trying not to let the ankles roll around. I had a horse fall on my right foot in my early 20s, so this I find challenging, but it's very good for me. Good. Coming out, pressing into your toes, try not to wobble out. Trying to find the work in the calves. in the control. Trying not to let your toes wiggle off the block. But again, I find this very challenging on my feet, which is why I need to do it. Why this is good for riding, our feet are in the stirrups. We need to be able to absorb the movement and keep a stable lower leg. Good. Next one, see if you can stay up. And then lower, and once again coming up, high as you can, staying up. Come a little higher if you can, and then lower down. And shake out those calves, shake out the legs. Okay, now we're going to do a balance challenge again. So turn your block so it faces long ways, and you're going to place your right foot on the entire block. Spread your foot as much as you can. Stand up and see if you can stand with your hips level. So now we're going to do some unilateral one-legged balance. Once you find your balance, we're going to hinge our upper body forward while our leg extends out the back. Trying to be as long as you can from the crown of the head to your toe. Slowly hinging up. If this is too hard, you can come on the ground or stand near the wall, and you can stand near the wall on the ground and just place your hand on the wall. That'll really help the balance, and you'll still get the benefit from the exercise. There's a lot of little stabilizers here working to keep you balanced. Not to mention it's a very good brain concentration exercise. I'm just going to do one more. So trying to stay tall and long through your body. Feeling the work in that stabilizer leg. Again, that gives us a stable lower leg or stable leg when we're riding. Try not to go to the point where you're off balance, so try and control it. Oh, not like that. Okay, stepping down, I've got 3 on the other side. Left foot on, spread your feet. Coming up, hands on your hips to find that level. So we don't want one or the toe down, we want it, it's almost like we're standing on another block with the other foot. And we've got 3 hinges. Helps to look at a point on the floor. But again, this is a challenging exercise on the block, as you can just see while I'm talking and trying to balance at the same time. So doing it on the floor, doing it next to the wall, you'll still get benefit out of it. And coming up slowly, and we've got one more. And coming back up. And coming off the block, and you can just put that to the side. Okay, and then come to the front of your mat. Standing up tall, you're going to place one leg behind the other, and we're going to try and gently lower to the ground, otherwise just get there how you can, trying to be as gentle as you can when you place your bottom down. Feet together, move your bottom to the middle of the mat. We're going to lie down. We're going to begin with pelvic curl. So I've already moved the spine, articulated the spine on the wall. Now we're going to do another version of that. So knees bent, feet parallel. So not turning toes in and out. Try and make your feet even. Have a look if you need to. I'm going to start with imprint. So again, we've got the natural curves in our spine, so you'll probably find you have a small space under your lower back. Now we're going to tilt the pelvis so that we gently use the abdominals to flatten that space underneath our lower back. Try not to engage the glutes and pull the bottom off. And then I want you to go back to neutral and back to imprint. So we're simply rocking or tilting our pelvis between neutral and imprint. And neutral is when your two hip bones and your pubic bone are level. So you could make a triangle with your hands, place that there, and that should be level. And then I tip the triangle and I come back into imprint. Let's just do a couple more of those. So simple movement, but extremely important in riding. In all paces, we need to be able to follow the horse's movement. We need this movement to be very accessible and controllable. Okay, we're going to imprint and then continue. So we're going to lift the tailbone off, continue articulating the spine up into a bridge. I don't want you to go too high in the bridge. I want your ribs to be down, abdominals engaged, long through the thigh, and I want you to try and tuck your pelvis a little bit more. Then we're going to, on the breath out, heavy in the ribs, roll the spine down, reaching your tailbone away as much as you can, keeping the tuck in your pelvis until the last moment. Your lower back gently goes onto the mat. Then you come back to neutral. Breath in, breath out, imprint, rolling. So taking the time here to feel your spine and how it's moving, or feel how the parts that are not moving, how we need to work on getting those a little more mobile and have a little more control over our spine. Good, so we're just continuing with the pelvic curl at your own speed, pressing through the feet. Next time you get to the top, I want you to pause. Now we're going to try and engage the back of the legs a little. So we're not going to change anything, but I want you to imagine you're trying to drag the mat with your heels back towards your bottom. That should really get some engagement in the back of the leg. Now keep that as you roll the spine down. So you're reaching through the knees, reaching through the tailbone, but drawing your heels without them actually moving towards your tailbone. Let's do one more. So imprint, rolling up. Pause at the top, check your posture, check your form. So your ribs down, nice flat straight line reaching through the knees. Try and get a little more tuck. The fold of your bottom, press that up, pull your heels back. And then on the breath out, rolling back down, keeping that engagement in the back of the legs. Feeling how that supports you so you can get more articulation in the spine. All the way back to neutral. And then we're going straight into chest lifts. So I want you to interlace your fingers quite strongly so you can sort of pull them apart. Then you're going to place them behind your head. I want you to press your head into your hands. Try and broaden your shoulder blades on your back. And then on the breath out, we're going to come up into chest lift by sinking the ribs down, keeping open through the throat. Don't release all the way. Trying to slide the sternum towards the pubic bone. Pressing into the back of the hands, not changing the pelvis or not letting the pelvis come off the ground. So heavy in the sacrum. We're folding at the ribs. So now we're flexing at the top part of the spine. We're using our abdominals to do that. Let's stay up for the next one. Pressing hands into your head into your hands. And let's again check in the weight is down in the back of the sacrum. And we're going to do 6 pulses, so small lifts. 2, 3, chin up, throat open. 4, 5, 6. Stay up if you can, rest if you need to. We're going to go add some rotation now. So again, we're trying to keep the back of the pelvis very stable. And we're going to lift up the right side of our ribs, the left side of our ribs, and we're going to rotate up and over to the right side. Come back to center, same way, lifting up the left ribs, pressing into the back of that same side through your sacrum, through the back of your pelvis. Trying not to lead with the elbows, staying open through the throat. Trying not to lean on the other shoulder blade to help. So we're coming up and over. Let's do one more. Up and over, center. Take a break if you need to, otherwise reset. On the exhale, right rib cage up and over to the left. It's a small movement with a lot of engagement. Let's do two more. Back to center, lift a little higher, hold, and then lower. Okay, I want you to put your hands just beside you or out to the side a little bit. Make the feet a little wider. And we're just going to do a little windscreen wiper with the legs to get a little rotation, a little stretch through the lower back. Okay, we're going to come up to sitting and we're going to attempt to do a roll up to get there. You're going to put your hands behind you so your legs are outstretched and your arms are outstretched. Then you're going to lift your hands up to the ceiling. You're going to come up into chest lift and continue. You can grab the sides of your pants if you need for help. Just smoothly roll up to sitting. Okay, we're going to do roll back. So come to the front of your mat. So we're up in sitting, knees are bent, and you're trying to sit up as tall as you can. The back is straight, reach your fingertips forwards, still sitting up straight. Now we're going to try and tilt the pelvis so that we round the lower back, and only the lower back to begin. Then you're going to continue and round the rest of your spine as you roll back, but we're not going all the way, so you're just going to touch your lower back on the ground, and then slowly and smoothly come back up. I'm going to do 4 more of those. So round the lower back on its own, and then continue down, rounding the rest of the spine. So we're trying to isolate the control of the lower back, building abdominal strength as well. Stack the spine and sit tall. Engage the lower abdominals, belly button, round your lower spine, and then round the rest of your spine, rolling back. Touch the mat, deepen the core, deepen the engagement, coming up. I think we have 2 more. Lower abdominals first, still sitting up through the chest in the beginning, then rounding the spine. Touch the mat, slowly coming up, keeping the curve of the spine on the way up. Stack the spine at the end, pulling your chest forward. Last one, lower abdominals. You may feel this working in the hip flexors as well. We want to have more abdominal work, but you are in hip flexion, especially at the top. So your hip flexors will be working. Okay, now we're going to go into rolling. So again, come to the front of the mat. We're going to wrap our arms around our legs or hold the ankles, knees apart, heels, feet together. See if you can balance with your feet hovering off the ground. If not, keeping the feet on the ground is an option, but see if you can balance. Now we've been talking about rounding our spine. So this is rolling like a ball. So we need to round our spine as much as possible. If you don't, you won't roll very well. You'll kind of clunk on the ground. The round your spine. So pull your chest, knees towards your chest. Round your spine as much as possible. Look down. Smoothly rolling back. Coming back up, trying to keep the feet off the ground if possible. Keeping the spine and the legs in the same shape. So we're not straightening the legs like that as we go down. Trying not to use momentum, so using control. Having a nice massage of the spine as you're doing it. Let's do 2 more. So this is abdominals, control, spine control. And it's all in motion. Good. Okay, move your bottom to the middle of the mat. And now we're going to do a roll down to get down. So reach your hands out in front of you. We're going to round the lower back again, draw the abdominals in, slowly with control, slowly rolling back down to the mat. And then we're going to place the hands beside us and do our leg circles. So this, we want pelvis stability. We're going to be moving one leg. So we're going to be moving in the ball and socket joint in one leg. So let's raise our right leg to the ceiling. Point the toe as much as you can, straighten the leg, strong through the opposite leg. Hold that position. Holding the position is work. Trying not to let your leg drop down, holding it up as much as you can. Slight bend to the knee will make this easier if you need to. Otherwise, try and keep the leg straight. We're going to go across the body and circle around using the breath. Ribs down. Hips not moving. One more, then we're going to okay, you're going to roll up to get up. So hands behind, reaching behind you. Breath out. Engage the abdominals. Lifting up through the head and the chest. Rolling up. Okay, we're going to do spine stretch now. So we're going to open our legs to the width of the mat and sit up as tall as you can with very straight, strong legs. Flex the feet. Reaching the palms forward. Sitting as tall as you can. So we're going to try and reach the spine as if we're going up and over something. So we want to engage in the abdominals and they're pulling back and we're reaching forward. So lead through the head and the shoulders, reaching up and over. Draw the abdominals in, pressing them backwards. So it's like somebody's pulling your fingertips away, but your abdominals pulling backwards. So you get more stretch in the spine. Coming back up, stack the spine, sit up as tall as you can. Bend the legs if you can't find that upright position, but work towards having them straight. And again, reaching forward. Abdominals drawing back. Finding the work. Coming back up to sitting. Shoulders down. Long through the neck. And again, reach forward, last one. Hold, engage your abdominals on the breath out so you can get a little more reach. And coming back up to sitting. Okay, now we're going to zip the legs together, still staying in this upright hip flexion position. You can hold your legs for a moment to pull yourself up. Then we're going to add some twisting, some rotation. Reach your hands directly out to the side of you, shoulder blades pulling down. Going to flip the palms to the roof, squeeze your legs together. So we use those adductors that we need for riding. Stretching up tall, the upper body posture we need for riding. We need to be able to rotate so we're even left and right. So we're going to start to the right with a little pulse on the exhale. Back to centre, then to the left. Head is just following. So we're turning. I've actually got a zipper on so you can see it. We're trying to turn the whole zipper. So I like the idea of a zipper because it's our whole upper body turning as one. So the lower part of the zipper is the hard part. Let's do one more to the left. And then relaxing the arms down. shake the legs for a moment, but we're going to stay in this position. And we're just going to do a couple of quad lifts, which are quite challenging. So I want you to place your fingertips on the mat, so just next to your knees. And you're going to try and reach your chest forward and leg forward. This time you're going to point your toes. You're going to try and lift and hover your right leg. And then lower. And then the left leg. Trying to lengthen that leg as much as you can. Trying to stay up tall. Lower. One more each side. Lift the right leg, hover, stretch taller. Lower. And the left leg, hover. There's a lot of quad strength. A lot of hip flexor, a lot of abdominal and postural. Okay, if you're up for it, I'm going to try and lift both legs and hover for a couple of breaths. Otherwise, just do one on the right and one on the left to finish. Okay, ready, and lift. Hold. And hover. And shake those legs out. Okay, now we're going to roll back. We're on the mat. We're going to actually do a chest lift. You're going to bend your right knee in. You're going to hold your right knee, lift your leg up to 45 degrees. We're going to engage the abdominals. Really try and press your lower back into the mat. So spread the skin on your lower back into the mat. We're going to swap. Again, engage the lower abs, press them into the mat and swap. Use the breath and swap. 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 Try to engage the abs and lift yourself higher. Pulling the leg in with your abdominals. Try with no hands if you like for a moment. Okay, bend the knees in. Take a little moment, put your head down. Do a couple of little circles with your knees. And then we're coming back up for crisscross. So we're adding rotation. Hands behind your head again. Elbows where you can see them. The elbows are not going to change. You're going to reach your left leg away. Then you're going to try and rotate past your right knee. Pause a moment, try and get your shoulder towards that knee. Center, other side. So try and get your shoulder towards the knee. Center, other side. Again, thinking about engaging your abdominals. We want that lower back into the mat. Let's just do a couple more each side. Last one each side. Shoulder reaching, not just your elbow. Back to center, and lower down. And again, just windscript wipe the legs a few times each side while I see what's next. Lying on your tummy, move forward on the mat. Hands beside you on the mat. Now we're going to talk about imprint again. So we're going to try and imprint here, which is where we try and, when we were doing it before, we were flattening our lower back into the ground. We're upside down now. So you actually have to try and press your lower back away from the ground. So you draw your tummy in, draw your belly button in, and you're stretching, lengthening that lower back part there to support it. Now you're going to draw your shoulders away from the mat. You're going to reach your hands away, fingertips stretching away. Then you're going to bring your head and your chest up, engaging in the lower abdominals again, reaching the fingertips away, reaching through the crown of the head. Hold, and then lower. And let's do that again. So protecting the lower back by drawing your belly button in. Reaching, lifting your shoulders off, arms off, reaching the fingertips towards your toes. Try not to use your glutes. Head and chest come off, ribs off, if you can. Reach the crown of your head away so you're not looking up and forward. Your eye line is down. We're trying to come up in the thoracic part of the back. So where the shoulder blades are. See if you can pull your shoulder blades back, reach the arms away, and then lower. Now we're going to go into swimming. So I want you to put your hands now out in front of you. And in a moment we're going to lift both our legs, our arms, and our chest and our head off the ground. And we're going to alternate kicking our legs and our hands while we breathe for 10 breaths. So if you haven't done this before, if you look at me now, this is what we'll be doing in a moment. Okay, deep breath in to prepare, breath out, coming up, trying to create length and swimming. Eyeline looking down, reaching your toes away, reaching your palms, the fingertips away, using the breath. Drawing the abdominals in. This is a little bit of an endurance exercise. Rest whenever you need to, otherwise we're halfway there. So you can go a little faster. Use the breath. Deep inhale, 2 more breaths. Big exhale, last breath. Inhale, exhale. And let's push ourselves back. So just sit, knees apart, sitting back on your heels. Reach your arms forward into rest position. So that was our extension work. So we've done a lot of flexion, rounding the spine forward. Then we're extending and working our back. But again, still using the abdominals. Okay, now we're just going to go into quadruped. We're going to think about, again, isolating, moving our pelvis and our lower back. Also going to look at some scapular movement. It's really important to have good contact. We need to have good ability to control where our scapulas are, so shoulder blades. So the first thing I want you to do is try and draw your shoulder blades together. So your chest will lower. So you're trying to pinch them together. Try not to move the lower back. Then you're going to push away from the floor, push into the floor. Try and spread your shoulder blades apart. So you may not get a big movement, you may not get any movement. And if you don't, then you probably need to add this into your repertoire. We often get quite stuck in that area. So going through retraction and protraction. Now stop somewhere in the middle. Now we're going to elevate the shoulder blades, so try and pull them up so your shoulders will come towards your ears, and then slide them down your back. Elevate, slide down your back. And if you don't do this a lot, this might be an exercise that you may feel the next day or two that you've worked some little muscles in there that are not normally doing any work. Okay, now I want you to stop halfway. So we're pressing into our hands. If it's too much on your wrist, you can come up onto your fists. But I want you to think about spreading the shoulder blades away and pushing up a little so we're not collapsing down. Okay, now we're going to isolate the lower back. So I want you to, again, we're going to tilt the pelvis around the lower back using our lower abdominals. So pelvic floor, drawing the belly button up. So not rounding the whole spine. Draw the tailbone under. Last one. Pelvic floor, draw the abdominals. And now we're just going to do a couple of cat-cows. So now we're going to round the whole spine. Thinking about shoulder blades, spreading, abdominals drawing up. Looking at your belly button, and then going into extension. So looking forward, tailbone up, rounding, head down, pressing the floor away, rounding a little more, and then back into extension. Okay, now we're going to test out our shoulder blade stability. We're going to go into a front support, or if that's a little much, you can actually just hover the knees slightly off the mat. So let's all do that together actually. Let's hover the knees slightly off the mat, but I want you to feel like you're pulling the mat towards your knees, pulling your knees towards your hands. That should increase the engagement. Stable through the shoulder blades. And then lower down. So you can stick with that again. Otherwise, step forward. And reach one foot out, strong through the shoulder blades. Hand on your shoulders, reach the other foot out. And hold the front support. If you've chosen to stick with the hover, you can just go up for a few breaths, go down for a few breaths if you need. Otherwise, we're holding this front support for 6 more breaths. Put your knees down if you need to. 4 more breaths. 2 more breaths, and then we're going to push back, push our hips to the roof, and go into pike, or in yoga terms, downward dog. So pushing up into pike. So now we're pressing the ground away, stretching those shoulder blades, reaching the heels towards the ground, creating length in the back again. I want you to walk your hands back to your feet, and then hanging there for a moment. And we're back where we started. And now we're going to roll up slowly. Heavy in the head. Okay, and I just want to finish, I just want to leave you with something to think about. I call it brick wall hands. We have a brick wall, looking up at a wall. I want you to walk to a wall. You can see there. And standing basically so you can have your elbows bent as if you're riding. If you can't see there, I'll put it away. And we're going to bend the knees. And I want you to tuck your tailbone under but still sit tall. I want you to place your fists as they would be when you're riding against the wall. Then I want you to push into the wall. And I want you to feel the muscles that you have to engage to do that. So you should feel a little core, you feel some lats. So this is our brick wall hands. This is forward thinking hands. This is self-carriage. So when you're riding next time, have a rest with it one more time. I want you to actually try and engage this feeling, even though you haven't got a wall. I want you to try and engage in that feeling when you're on your horse. And you actually try and, without moving your hands forward, you try and imagine you're pressing forward. And then relax. And thank you for joining me for our Dressage Riders Pilates.